Welcome to this production and operations management tutorial video on the factor rating method, which we'll use to make a supplier selection or recommend which supplier to choose. Before we get started, however, I want to make a note that you should pay attention to, and that is that this factor rating method is very versatile and can be used in a number of circumstances. Anytime you want to quantify qualitative or subjective weights or criteria, the factor rating method is ideal to help you. There are 5 steps to performing a factor rating analysis or method for making decisions. The first is you must first identify criteria that are important and valuable to the company when making this decision, assign weights to those criteria, rank or score the suppliers or each option based on the criteria selected, and then multiply the rankings or the scores for the criteria by the weights that were previously established. And then finally, total the weighted scores to get you your recommended option. We'll now jump over to Excel, where we have a spreadsheet already populated, and you'll notice that we've done the first 3 steps already. Namely, we have the criteria, identified the criteria, we've weighted the criteria, and we've scored our 2 options, our 2 different suppliers. And so now it's just a matter of simply computing the weighted score for each supplier. To do so, we take the weight, and I'm going to anchor the column reference, so the $ in front of the C, and multiply that by the score, the raw score for price, the criteria of price for supplier number 1. And since I've anchored it this way, I can now drag this formula across. I'll fill without formatting in order to preserve our existing formatting, and now we can drag that down, and we now have a weighted score. So you'll see if I double click on any one of these cells, it gives us the weight times the raw score for each of the criteria for each supplier option. And then we take the sum of those weighted scores, and in this case, based on these criteria and the weights for these criteria, we would say that supplier 2 looks to be a better option because the weighted score is 3.2 versus 2.9. Well, that's it for this tutorial video. Pretty simple stuff here. Hope this has been helpful to you. And again, remind you that this is a great, versatile, simple tool that has many applications.